Nothing's behind me. I look forward. Dude's just laying on my hood with his bicycle. Alright guys, so welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's been a while since we've had a vehicle on our backyard builds. So today I have brought Eric along and he has brought us a treat. So Eric, what do we got here today?
It's a 2004 Infiniti G35.
It sounds great. That's one of the very first things I noticed about it. Was whenever you were pulling it in here, man, it sounded great. So why don't you tell us what's up with the engine and exhaust?
As far as the engine goes, other than a short ram intake and a plenum spacer, that's about it on the engine. Exhaust is a catback exotic speed. It's a titanium exhaust, burnt tips.
Yeah, dude, I love those colors on those two. Those look really good. Why don't you tell us about the wheels and tires?
The wheels are raised, but they're nothing special. They came off of a 03 to 05 350Z track edition. They're like 17 pounds a piece, and they were significantly cheaper than RPF ones, so that's what we went with.
That's actually pretty light, though. That's not bad.
And the tires are Nitto Envos. They were designed for Porsche racing cars.
Yeah.
Or road race cars. I kind of just liked how they looked, and then they were really quiet, so I stuck with them. They last about 20,000 miles, but they're not overly expensive, and I've drove this 5,000 miles in the last 3 years, so it doesn't hurt.
That'll be cut out.
I don't know, I think you should leave it.
You know, and honestly, that's been a debate that I've argued with people for a long time now. I personally think that tires are the most important part of the car for several reasons. For one, it's the only part of the car that touches the ground, period. So your acceleration, your cornering, and your braking are all dependent on the tires. You could have a 1,000 horsepower car, but if you've got some crappy tires on it, it's not gonna handle, it's not gonna accelerate, it's not gonna brake. But how they look is also a huge factor. I mean, I have seen some tire tread patterns on some high performance tires that handle great, but they just look like crap. And so I'm a big fan of making sure that my tire not only handles good, but it also looks good, because just like a good pair of shoes, they really make the car, they really fit with, you know, what kind of wheel setup you have on them. And I like these. I think they look pretty good.
So suspension wise, I might have overdone it. I just thought
Correction, no, he didn't. There is no overdoing things. We all know that when you modify a car, it's never done. It's always going to have more things. So just wanted to correct that real quick.
See, in stock format, this was a really fun daily driver, and then I went to Z1 and bought front and rear control arms. Upper and lower control arms, front and rear sway bars, sway bar end links. It's got TN, I don't even know how to say that word, lowering springs on the front and rear. All the bushings in the vehicle have been changed. The rear diff bushing on these goes bad, pretty bad.
Yeah.
And you get this trail of tears just on the rear subframe dripping. So replace that with all the bushings are polyurethane. After that change, car's just flat. Like, it used to feel like you were kicking under any torque. Now it just straightforward, completely flat. That's great.
I'm assuming by that facial look, though, that it handles great, but the ride quality may have diminished a little bit.
Like, turning to merge, it's
oh, really?
Yeah, it's stupid. It's miserable. You just got to stay on top of it now. There was actually a warning with one of the sway bars. I think it was the rear one. And it said there's multiple holes in them for more adjustment.
Yeah.
If you put it in the stiffest hole, it says, "Do not drive in the rain."
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't drive in the rain.
Is that what yours is on?
I think so. I'm pretty sure that's what we did. I had Carbon in town install them, and I've not got under it to confirm, but if it got any stiffer, I wouldn't be able to drive this. Other things that have been done to it, did the exhaust, Got wheel spacers on it, doesn't really matter. These, for whatever reason, the wheels are just sunk in from the factory.
Yeah.
So it's got 25 millimeter or 1 inch spacers all around. The drive shaft in it is a aluminum one piece instead of like the 2-piece that came from the factory.
Yeah.
The center joint in it was rattling pretty bad, and Z1 again had this upgrade. So it's like, let's throw it in. So
Nice.
No more rattle. Interior is completely stock.
I know the seats look good.
Yeah, this will probably be the only one you see with 205,000 miles on it, that the seats aren't just completely destroyed. These and 350Zs are terrible for the seats to get just ate up. If you look at them on Marketplace, they're all trash. 350Zs and G35s are just inherently bad. The driver's side seat gets destroyed for whatever reason. I don't understand it. Everyone you look at on Marketplace, driver's seat gone. That's why so many of them have racing seats in them.
Yeah.
But other than that, the only thing I've changed on the interior is the steering wheel. This one's starting to do it, but it's like it gets sticky over time. And I mean, it's a 20-year-old, 200,000 mile car.
Yeah.
Replacing a steering wheel, I'm not going to complain about.
Right.
But yeah, it gets sticky. This top coat seems to wear off over time. So it's got a new steering wheel. This one's out of like an 05 model. I randomly found a sport model one. It has orange stitching. It's the only difference. Cosmetic upgrades. These wonderfully unclear coated carbon fiber mirror caps. They lasted about 3 or 4 years before they started hazing up on top, but still look all right. Upgraded to 2006 headlights. The 03, 04s were not very bright at all, and these are pretty much a bolt-in, and at this point in time they're cheaper than going aftermarket. They used to be about $1,000 a piece. I refused. Got on a few years ago and it's like, oh, these were $300 a set, sign me up. Then this beautiful front bumper is it's an OEM Infinity piece that had a guy on a bicycle hit me in Texas and kind of destroyed that, dented my front fender, so replaced that. And then I put a cheap eBay grill in it because the original one was just looking old.
A guy on a bicycle hit you in Texas.
Yeah, I was at a stop sign and bro just rides up, hits me in the side. I look behind me because I think somebody's rear-ended me after I hear the thud, and nothing's behind me. I look forward, dude's just laying on my hood with his bicycle. Runs over to my driver's side window, is like, hey man, you just hit me. Bro, I was stopped. I'm at a stop sign.
I think that's honestly stuff like that is the exact reason why I'm wanting to put like one of those dash cams up to run all the time, because you got people that does stupid things like that, man. That's crazy.
Well, so about 1,000 miles from home, you can see how this fender kind of touches the headlight there. I started getting a squeak. You'll hear it. And you know, new squeaks that are really high pitched. Realizing you got 1,000 miles left to drive with that, it's a bad trip. I've got used to it now.
All right, so, and like you said, this is your daily driver though, right?
Pretty much. I've got a GX 470 that you just did a video on.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen it yet, we've done a review. We did a review on his other vehicles. His other vehicle is pretty much like mint stock. It's awesome. So if you haven't seen that yet, go check it out.
And then this, pretty much just drive it to town, drive it to the gym. It does a whole lot better on gas mileage, because both vehicles take premium, which is annoying, but you gotta live with it. But this on the highway, I've got upwards of 30 miles a gallon before.
Oh wow!
Around here, it's 23 to 25.
That's killer.
So nothing terrible, and I don't really drive much. Like I said, I think 3 years, 5,000 miles on this. Any road trips I take, obviously, I'm gonna take the GX.
Yeah.
It's because dogs, comfort, quiet.
Yeah, I don't blame
not
you.
miserable.
I don't blame you.
Yeah.
That's actually really good, because I feel you on the whole 93 thing, because Reaper's 93 obviously, and even with the mods I've done to it, I still get around about 23, like 20 to 23. But then Echo's diesel, so it's like both vehicles is just like horrendous to try to like top the tanks off.
Yeah. And this has a 20-gallon gas tank. One thing I do like about it, or liked about it for road trips, is you can get like 400 miles or better on a tank.
Yeah.